In the mafia, there is one rule above all others: never betray the family. Break that rule, and you don't live to talk about it. But one man did. He admitted to 19 murders, helped run one of the most powerful crime families in America, and then sat in a courtroom and testified against his own boss. His name was Sammy the Bull Gravano, and his betrayal would bring down the most famous mafia boss in modern history. Salvatore Gravano was born in Brooklyn, New York in 1945. As a child, he struggled in school and was often labeled as a troublemaker. By his teenage years, he had already entered the world of street crime, fighting, stealing, and building a reputation for violence. It was during these early years that he earned the nickname the Bull, not for his size, but for his temperament. If challenged, he charged forward without hesitation. Gravano eventually became associated with the Colombo crime family before aligning himself with the powerful Gambino family. Through a combination of loyalty, brutality, and efficiency, he rose quickly. By the 1980s, Gravano had become a trusted figure within the organization. When John Gotti orchestrated the assassination of boss Paul Castellano in 1985, Gravano played a key role in the operation. After Gotti took control of the Gambino family, Gravano was promoted to underboss. He was one of the highest ranking positions in the mafia. At that point, Gravano was deeply embedded in the world of organized crime, and by his own later admission, he had participated in or ordered 19 murders. As underboss, Gravano operated at the highest levels of the mafia. He oversaw operations, resolved disputes, and enforced loyalty within the organization. But unlike Gotti, who embraced media attention, Gravano preferred to stay behind the scenes. He understood something Gotti did not. Attention was dangerous, and that danger was growing. Federal authorities were building cases against the Gambino family. Surveillance increased, wiretaps captured conversations, and pressure began to close in. In the early 1990s, prosecutors developed a strategy that would change the mafia forever. They would target leadership and turn insiders into witnesses. As evidence mounted, Gravano realized something. He believed that Gotti was placing blame on him in recorded conversations. In the mafia, that meant one thing: he was becoming expendable. Facing the possibility of life in prison or worse, Gravano made a decision that shattered the code of silence. He cooperated with federal authorities. In 1991, Sammy Gravano agreed to testify against John Gotti. It was almost unheard of, a mafia underboss turning informant. In court, Gravano described murders, operations, and the inner workings of the Gambino crime family. His testimony became the foundation of the government's case. In 1992, John Gotti was convicted and sentenced to life in prison. The Teflon Don had finally been brought down, and it was because of the man standing right beside him. Despite admitting involvement in 19 murders, Gravano received a dramatically reduced sentence. He entered the Federal Witness Protection Program, and for a time, he lived under a new identity. But Gravano's story did not end there. In the early 2000s, he was arrested again, this time for involvement in a drug trafficking operation. He was sentenced to prison once more. Sammy Gravano remains one of the most controversial figures in mafia history. To some, he was a survivor, making calculated decisions to save himself. To others, he was a traitor who broke the most sacred rule of the mafia. His testimony marked a turning point. After Gravano, more insiders began cooperating with authorities. The code of silence was no longer absolute. Sammy the Bull Gravano lived by the rules of the mafia. He enforced them, he killed for them, and in the end, he broke them. Because when power begins to collapse, loyalty is often the first thing to disappear. If you enjoy real historical crime stories like this one, make sure to subscribe to A Veil of Crime so you never miss an episode. This story is part of our Blood Oaths, the Mafia Files series, where we uncover the power, betrayal, and bloodshed behind the American Mafia. If you haven't yet, watch the full series and see how each story connects, because in the Mafia, every oath leads to another crime. And if you'd like to support the channel and help keep these stories coming, you can buy me a coffee using the link on the channel. Your support helps bring more hidden stories from history into the light. Until next time, some men swear loyalty, others break it. And in the Mafia, every broken oath leaves a trail of blood.